Oh, hi. How are you? Welcome to episode 3 of Talking Ish with Dub, Chris, and Mizzle. I'm Dub. That's Chris. Mizzle right now at the moment is on assignment. He may or may not join us, but he will definitely send us his picks for week 1, as this show is all about week 1 as we preview week 1 of the NFL. And actually, right now, we actually have some college football going on right now. Chris has North Dakota State and Colorado on his TV. And on mine, I have the North Carolina Tar Heels taking on the Minnesota Gophers. That is airing right now on Fox. Right now, it is scoreless with about 9 minutes to go as Carolina is deep in their own territory. As we got ACC taking on the Big Ten. As it is a full-fledged weekend of college football, concluding on Sunday with a battle out here at the Death Star between the Bayou Bengals of LSU and the Trojans of Southern California. Of course, you can catch that on ABC here from Allegiant Stadium at 4:30 p.m. But
Sorry,
sir, how are you? Who just scored?
Man. I was looking at the score. North Dakota State 20, Colorado 14, and North Dakota State has got the ball again. Let me tell you, I've been watching this game pretty closely, and I was hoping that this was the year that Dion would get his defense fixed, and North Dakota State's running all over him.
And folks, that was the college that Trey Lance went to, and Carson Wentz. Go figure. Go figure.
Yeah, and they have not lost a D2 championship yet.
That is a very powerful program, along with Montana State in FBS2 or whatever, or FC, whatever the hell they call Division 2 now. I don't know.
I just say D2.
Yeah,
Make it easy.
D2. But nevertheless, glad you're joining us here on this third episode of Talking Ish with Dub, Chris, and Mizzle, as we will preview and talk about Week 1 of the National Football League. Okay, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this subject because Lord knows I'm tired about it, but in Santa Clara, they finally decided to pay Brandon Ayuk, and I can't believe they're actually giving him $30 million a season, but he is signed 4 years for $120 million. But for your faithful, I hope you're happy, because now that might have cost you losing your all-pro left tackle in Trent Williams, who, by the way, protects Brock Purdy's blind side. And if Jalen Moore has to go into this game against the Jets on Monday night as the starting left tackle, that's going to be a problem. A huge, huge problem. But nonetheless, Ayuk is staying for 4 more years in Santa Clara. I was always been like, you know what, if you don't want to be here, leave, because you were crying, moaning, pissing to anybody that would listen about your situation. Well, now you got paid, so you need to play.
You gotta show up and show out.
Yeah. So since you got that money that you wanted, now your play needs to do the talking. And if your play doesn't do the talking, oh yes, I'm going to live up to the show and talk some ish about it for sure. But nonetheless, your wide receiver got paid.
Some shit about you.
Yeah, your wide receiver got paid. My wide receiver got paid. But yep. I'm really over the situation. I really am. I just am. I'm over already.
I mean, I can't say. But I mean, I'm not gonna talk and keep going on it. All I'm gonna say is, you know, he wanted to get paid like a wide receiver 1. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He got paid like a wide receiver 1, so he better show up and play like a wide receiver 1. That's all I'm going to say about the situation.
I agree, 1,000%. I agree. I mean, if you were to ask me, who would I rather keep? I want my all-pro left tackle protecting my quarterback. Because, like I said,
the blind side is the worst side for you to get hit on if you're a right-handed quarterback.
Yes, it is.
He was a left tackle. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is your quarterback could wind up. I mean, and look what happened. You guys don't. Who's your backup?
Right now, Jalen Moore would be plugged in to start at left tackle if Trent Williams is not in uniform by 5
No, I mean, who's your backup quarterback?
Oh, right now it'd be Josh Dobbs.
Well, you know, Josh Dobbs is not a bad backup.
No, he's not.
Right now, he might want to stay loose and limber for the just in cases. That's all I'm going to say.
And I don't disagree with you on that. But I mean, if Josh Dobbs has to be your quarterback for a majority of the season, that would not be a good thing up there in Santa Clara. Because I mean, as much talk as we want to give to the Jets still do have a solid defense,
Yeah, I
and
think
and Leonard and Leonard Williams is an All-Pro defensive tackle that you've got to look out for on that Jets defense. Now,
couldn't agree more. And I think we looked at them. I think the Jets defensive line was ranked either number 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken, for PFF. So I mean, yeah, I would be worried. I would be very worried about not having your All Pro. And when I say All Pro, 11 Pro Bowls, folks, 11. Count those up. 11 Pro Bowls that man has. So he
Trent
is
Williams,
not
yeah,
out.
Trent Williams has had himself a Hall of Fame career. He
Oh
has
yeah,
been
without
he
a
has,
shadow of doubt.
he has been as solid, steady as you can. Drafted originally by the Redskins / football team / Commanders.
Yep.
Yes they've had 3 names, but however, that's a huge loss if he
Oh,
can't go on
huge.
Monday night against the Jets. Just real quickly before we get into these discussions about week 1 of the NFL, real quickly going to give you some quick football scores, as it is 21 games on the college football slate, and there will be games from today up until Sunday in college football, as it's full-fledged opening week of college football. So right now in the third, Wake Forest is up big on North Carolina A&T, 31-10. That's in the third. Also in the third, the Knights of UCF Central Florida, they're up 42-3 on New Hampshire. That's in the third with about 6.5 minutes to go. Buffalo up against Lafayette, 23-6. That's early in the fourth quarter, which, again, most of these games you can watch on ESPN+. Bowling Green up 34-10 in the fourth against Fordham. Central Michigan against Central Connecticut. That's a 52-10 score in favor of the Chippewas of Central Michigan. Arkansas is up big, 49-0 at the half on Arkansas and Pine Bluff. Toledo up 28-10 over Duquesne at the half, 28-10. North Carolina State and West Carolina tied at the start of the fourth, or the second half, I beg your pardon. So Western Carolina playing NC State. NC State ranked number 24th in the nation. Number 11th ranked Missouri taking on Murray State. That's 20-0, nearing the half there. Kansas ranked 22nd in the country, up 27-0 on Linwood. That's towards the end of the half. And as Chris just mentioned at the top of the show, North Dakota State, the Mighty Bison, up 6, 20-14 with 36 seconds to go in the half on Colorado in Folsom. As
Update, 19 seconds to go in the half. And let's see. Colorado is on their own 35.
Oh,
and
65 yards to go.
Sanders is running, stops, throws it to a wide open receiver, took it all the way down to the Bisons. Well, I can't see what the come on. It's like you and I watching the A7 and wondering where in the hell the sticks.
Where's the marker?
Right,
Where's the ball spotted?
Give me the dang markers so I can see where it is. Well, we got first down for sure, but I still don't know. Now they're going to the replay, so I'll give you guys the update on that here as soon as it comes on.
They're
but
going
you can catch
to
that game on
they're
ESPN.
going to replay. All right, so Colorado's on the move.
No, not a replay. They're just going to a replay to show you to get the catch over again. And it looks like the receiver, they're definitely in the North Dakota State's side of
territory.
The 50.
All right, so Coastal Carolina up 31 State on Jayville State. That's in the second quarter. UAB, Alaham, Birmingham is up 14-0 on Alcorn State. That's in the first quarter. Tulane on Southeast Louisiana up 21-0 at the half. Tulsa up 34-14 on Northwestern State. Number 12th ranked Utah, the Utes up 7-0 on Southern Utah. That's late in the first quarter. Late in the first quarter in the Twin Cities, the Gophers of Minnesota taking on the Tar Heels of North Carolina. That's scoreless. East Illinois and Illinois, the Fighting Illini, that is scoreless in the first quarter. University of Louisiana Monroe tie with Jackson State scoreless in the first quarter. And coming up in half an hour on True TV, we have the Sacramento State Hornets taking on the San Jose State Spartans. That's to round out your college football for the evening. And Rutgers beat Howard 44-7. So that's your first final in college football. So some
Ooh.
up on Friday, some interesting games. We got TCU
Joe
and
Horn's son just
Stanford,
made a hell of a catch.
and
2 seconds to go.
Chris is giving us an update in Boulder, Colorado between the Bison and the Buffaloes. Tomorrow, interesting matchups. We got Stanford and TCU from the farm in Palo Alto. That's on ESPN. Kickoff is slated for 7:30 as it is the first game for Stanford in this ridiculousness that is Stanford being in the Athletic Coast Conference. Nothing says Atlantic Coast like a Pacific team joining the Atlantic Coast Conference. What? Lehigh takes on Army. That
They're
is
in the
at 3
ACC, huh?
p.m.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, they are. Stanford and Cal joining the ACC. Lehigh takes on Army. That's at 3 p.m. The Owls of Temple taking on 16th ranked Oklahoma Boomer Sooner. That's in Norman. That's at 4 p.m. on ESPN. FAU, the Owls, taking on Michigan State in East Lansing. That's at 4 p.m. Elon taking on Duke. That's at 4:30 p.m. You can catch that game on ACC Network. FAU and Michigan State, you can catch that on the Big Ten Network. Temple and Oklahoma, that's on ESPN. Army, their home game will be live on CBS Sports Network. Western Michigan against Wisconsin, you can catch that at 6 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. And then a big game for my Bulldogs on Saturday as they take on the Clemson Tigers in Atlanta. UNLV is on the road. They take on the Houston Cougars. You can catch that game at 4 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Michigan opens defense of their national title at home against Fresno State. You can catch that on NBC at 4:30. Very interesting matchup in Morgantown as Penn State takes on West Virginia. Of course, Penn State coming in ranked 8th in the country. That's early at 9 a.m. on Fox. Virginia Tech takes on Vanderbilt. UConn against Maryland. Trying to find some other interesting matchups here in the first weekend of college football. Colorado State taking on Texas. Texas coming in 4th ranked in the nation. A very intriguing matchup. It's always state bragging rights on the line. Chris can care less about this game, but it is the 19th ranked Hurricanes of Miami taking on the Gators of Florida in the swamp in Gainesville, Florida. And that game is at 12:30 p.m. on the networks of ABC/ESPN Plus. Seeing if there's any more interesting matchups in week 1 of this opening weekend season. And we're scrolling, still scrolling. Yes. So at 4:30 p.m. on ABC, you got 7th ranked Notre Dame at College Station taking on 20th ranked Texas A&M. So that will be a very interesting matchup to see there between those two ranked teams. And of course, concluding on Sunday, Labor Day weekend, LSU ranked 13th, taking on Southern California, ranked 23rd. That's at 4:30 p.m. on ABC. And of course, on Labor Day itself, chance for Chris's beloved Seminoles to get the measure of revenge as they take on Boston College, trying to come off that heartbreaking loss to Georgia Tech in Ireland this past Saturday.
Dude, don't get me started. Don't get me started with that bullshit.
All right, but now moving on to the main course. Of course, next Thursday, a week from yesterday, will officially be opening day of the NFL, and it starts off with a rematch of last year's AFC title game as the Chiefs will once again raise their Super Bowl banner and defense of their title and see if they can be the first team in NFL history to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Of course, the last team that tried to go for the three-peat was the Patriots back in 2003, 4, and 2005, but the Broncos in 2005 denied them in the divisional round. So we will see if the Chiefs can be the first to do it. But they're taking on a team that is looking for some revenge. And we get to see the season debut of Mr. Derrick Henry wearing the purple and black of the Baltimore Ravens and perhaps taking the big load off of Lamar Jackson in the run game. Now I'm hoping
Lamar Jackson's still going to run the ball. Don't get it twisted.
No,
It doesn't matter. He's got a running back.
But I'm saying he won't have to run the whole load is what I'm saying.
I agree with you. My biggest point in contention with Lamar Jackson, first off, and no, I'm not saying it because Dak was a runner-up for MVP. Please don't get it twisted. Lamar Jackson is not the MVP of the league last year. He's not. I would have given Purdy that honor, and that is coming from a Cowboys fan. I
Mhm.
thought Purdy was one of the most important quarterbacks for his team, and I thought that he should have been the MVP. As far as Lamar Jackson is concerned, it was proven by by Kansas City Chiefs. Make him throw the ball, and he cannot win a game because he's not a really great passer of the football. He is an athletic quarterback, and I would, some people have said, oh, he's like Michael Vick. No, Michael Vick threw the ball better.
Well,
And
again,
come at me for that, but that's my honest opinion. I've watched the kid play. I watched him play when he was with Louisville, and I watched him play against my Seminoles. The only place that he killed us was running the football. Outside of that, I would keep him in the pocket and say, "You better throw the damn ball. If not, I'm gonna. As soon as you step out of the pocket, I'm gonna hit you with everything I got."
and here's the thing, and I go back to this stat. Of course, we know they met in the AFC title game last year. Chiefs won 17-10.
Hmm.
Obviously, three turnovers helped the Chiefs' cause in winning by 7 points. But I go back to this point. The Ravens last season was the best rushing team in the NFL. Nobody did it better. And they only ran the football 16 times. And I will never understand why. But here's the even bigger kicker. When they ran the ball, Chris, they
Hmm.
averaged 5.1 yards per carry. Now, you and I, along with our buddy, the Viking Scott McCorkle, we were doing fall brawl when this game was going on, and we were watching on your iPad.
Yep.
And we saw the rushing by average stat in this game. And you and I both looked at each other, and we both said, what the hell is John Harbaugh doing? You've been a running team all year. Why are you not running the ball?
Right. And the thing about it is, when you think about that 5.1 yards per carry, that's a first down
Yes.
every two downs that you got a
Yes.
first down.
Yes.
I mean, you could methodically move the ball down the field, play defense by keeping Mahomes off the field, and possibly win the frigging game. So that's what I didn't understand when I saw this. By the way, Jimmy Horn, Joe Horn's son,
Mm-hmm.
is going to be a friggin' star. This
I
kid
agree.
has
I agree.
4 touches, 135 yards, and 2 touchdowns
He
in
can
this
run.
game already.
He can
This
run.
kid is going to be a star,
He can run, folks.
and he
And
can play wide receiver with the best of them. I mean, this kid is not afraid. Much like his father, he is not afraid to go across the middle.
only difference is son is more faster than dad because dad didn't have that much good of a speed. He was just very good at getting open and had very good hands. But his son can run.
Jimmy can run, dude. I was just watching him. I watched him. I watched him take a deep end. It looked like a yeah, it looked like a deep end. Took it, caught the ball, and just ran away from everybody.
All right.
So I know it'll change. When talent gets equal, we'll really see it. But when you see a kid pulling away from corners at any level, you know that he's got some speed because every team has some speed at cornerback.
In the case of the Chiefs, um, how much pressure do you think is on them to try to do something that has not been done in the NFL? I mean, it's been done. It's been done in every major of the three sports in North America, with
Hmm.
the exception of the NFL.
Well, I think that when you are, hold on, let me do this. Okay, I need to get comfortable. So I think when you're playing in the NFL, there's pressure already.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the situations that you run into when you have that type of pressure, I
Mm-hmm.
think one of the things that you have to pay attention to, and this is something that every team that has won, and we saw it right away when we started last season with the Insomniacs in A7. We saw the letdown. We saw the kind of complacency that happens, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's not that you're comfortable. It's not that you don't want. It's just like, oh, here, ho hum, we're playing football again. And I think that sometimes you need a wake up call. So I don't know that there's necessarily pressure on Kansas City.
Is it
other
because
than the pressure they're putting on themselves to try to get back to the Super Bowl. And every NFL team does that at the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
So, and should I say in camp, that's where it all starts. But I think the difference, and I think what you're asking is to point out what is going to be the difference this season. And I think that the pressure is on them from themselves. And, they've got to come out to a fast start to say, we can do this. We can make this thing happen. Because if not, it's a slow start. And guess what? They start second guessing themselves and wondering, can we do this? And then you start pressing. Once you start pressing as a football team, that's when you start losing.
Well said, well said, well said. So, with that said, who do you like in this game to start off the 105th season of the National Football League?
Kansas City and the Ravens.
Yes.
Um, uh, so I'm going to go with the Ravens, believe it or not. And the reason I'm going to go with the Ravens is I like the Ravens defense. I know that they don't have
Patrick
Queen,
Queen. Yeah.
Patrick Queen,
Yeah.
um, as at linebacker, but I don't think necessarily that the Kansas City Chiefs are a really strong run team anyway.
No.
No. So my thought on that is pretty simple, and that is uh, it always takes a little bit longer for offenses to catch up with defenses.
Correct.
Defenses are always going to have a little bit of an edge going into the first game of the season. So I'm going to go because it takes a little bit of time. They can practice all they want, but you can't practice game speed. And so the game speed takes just a little bit, game or two, and especially because a lot of these, this better than anybody. A lot of these guys, they don't play their starters in preseason.
No.
So it always takes a little bit for them to knock the rust off and really get going. So this is one of those games that I think the Ravens could actually. And when I say this, I mean this, they could sneak one in against Kansas City and take this win.
Well, I think they'll do the same thing Detroit did last year, which Detroit ran the ball very effectively. Now, obviously, Chris Jones didn't play in this game, and the Lions were able to run the ball effectively last year and got the win in KC. But in this case, because it's a team that denied them to get to the Super Bowl a season ago, I'm expecting a lot of pounding with Derrick Henry. I'm expecting those big offensive lineman guards who just recently lost their offensive line coach, so they're already playing with heavy hearts, and I'm pretty sure they want to, win this game for him and his family. So I'm expecting a lot of Derrick Henry. I like Baltimore as well. Mizzle is also picking the Ravens, as he did text me his picks. Now, for those that have an interest in betting this game, okay, right now, as it stands, the over-under is 46.5. It is the Chiefs -3, Ravens +3. Money line, it is the Ravens +130. The Chiefs are -150 for those that have a betting interest in this game. All right, moving on to Friday in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We have a battle of green, if you will, between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. That game is exclusively on Peacock, so if you do not have the Peacock app, you will not be able to see this game. Kickoff is scheduled for 5:15 Pacific time. So, Packers, Eagles, both teams getting into the playoffs last year. Jordan Love definitely showed his improvement. Can he continue to ascend in his second full year as a starter? With the Eagles losing a lot on the defensive side of the ball, how that will hurt them. Can the offense bounce
They
back?
truly lose a lot, though. I mean, I know they lost Riddick. I know they lost. What else did they lose on that
Well,
defense?
one retired, so there's that. I mean, the
Well,
defense is still
Reddick
relatively
was their
young.
best offensive. Well, I mean, was their best rusher
Yes,
at defensive end. So I mean, I get that, but realistically, I think if I, and I know we're going to do the pick on this, but I'm probably gonna lean towards Philly in this first game. Again, I've got to ask myself who has a better defense, and I don't know necessarily that it is Philly, but I'm leaning towards Philly because I don't think the Packers are the overall better team offensively. I mean, they probably got the better running back right now. And who knew that I'd say Josh Jacobs is better than Barkley? But until I could see Barkley do it on a regular, and I know he's doing it behind a really good offensive line. But the problem with that offensive line too is, Kelsey's gone,
Yeah, no,
and
no, no,
we've
Jason
got to
Kelsey.
see, yeah, we've got to see who's going to be the leader on that offensive line. So that is a little bit worrisome to me. But when it comes right down to it, who's got the better receivers? And right now, I've got to point to Philly.
Absolutely.
So I'm going Philly on this one.
Well, obviously, you're not a big fan of Kellen Moore running the offense,
Mm,
but I am a huge fan of Vic Fangio running that defense, and Vic Fangio for a long
yes,
time has run very good, solid defenses. So, from that aspect, um, expect a lot of pressure if you're Jordan Young because Vic Fangio brings a lot of pressure. But here's the difference: Vic Fangio brings pressure without blitzing, and that was a key thing when he was the coordinator for the 49ers back in those days. Now, obviously, having Justin Smith does help you to free Alden Smith without question, and
but you
letting
got one thing that you're not thinking about too. You guys ran a 3-4 defense with Vic
that's true
Fangio,
too. That's true
and
too.
that's not the personnel that Philly has. He's going to have to
Correct.
run hybrid.
Correct.
And so I,
Correct.
I am a little worried about his defense because the defense in a 3-4 is a lot harder to pick up, especially when you start putting guys at defensive end in a stand up position rather than their hand in the dirt. So I am interested to see what goes on with this.
Well, it's very rare that Chris is picking a division foe, but he says he's leaning towards Philly.
Yep.
Mizzle likes the Eagles. Um, I'm going with Philly just strictly because, like I said, because of Vic Fangio running the defense. And T Rose says, cheers. So, cheers to you, sir. Thank you for chiming in and joining us as we are episode 3 in of Talking Ish with Dub, Chris, and Mizzle. Of course, Mizzle is on assignment, but Mizzle did send his picks. He likes the Eagles. Well, we are all picking the birds to fly, fly, fly in Brazil. I think that setting is going to be fantastic seeing an NFL game in the very beautiful country of Brazil. Um,
I agree.
that, that should be very fantastic to see, which, again, Eagles and Packers, you can only watch that game exclusively on Peacock. So if you do not have Peacock, you won't be able to see the game.
And I might have to steal my daughter's Peacock sign in so I can watch that game next
Hey, membership has its privileges, as American Express used to say.
Got to do
All
what you
right,
got to do.
indeed. Now
Oh, I
venturing on to
I
Sunday's action.
that I sent you does have home team uh, broadcast though,
Yeah,
so I might have to check that. Anyway, I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry about
no, no,
that.
no, you're good. Well, I mean, Wayne Larrabee and Merle Reese, the respective radio announcers, have been doing a very good job for a very long time, respectively with the Packers and the Bears. So that, I mean,
It'll be
that's
fun.
not, yeah, it definitely is. And no, folks, I don't think Chris Collinsworth will be in Brazil, so you have to deal with him on Sunday night with the Rams and the Lions. I'm sorry.
Yay!
All right,
Can you
clinging
tell
on
my
to
story?
clinging on to Sunday's action. Starting off, we got the Arizona Cardinals in Orchard Park taking on the Bills. Bills -6. Total is 48.5. If you're looking at money line, Cardinals +220, Bills -270. Um, Second year for Coach Gannon with the Cardinals. For the Bills, a little bit of the great unknown. What's going to happen with no Stephon Diggs? Can Josh Allen carry the load? But I will say I've been very impressed with Ray Davis, the running back from Kentucky. He has ran the ball with tremendous force. He possibly can complement James Cook real well. Of
And
course,
don't forget about my boy.
anxious to see big number 0, Mr. Keon Coleman,
Yes,
become
sir.
that number 1 target for Josh Allen in Orchard Park. He definitely has the size to do it. Um,
6'4".
you still got Curtis Samuel. You still got Khalil Shakur. I mean, you still got Knox at a tight end along with Dalton Kincaid. So I mean, yes, losing Stephon Diggs is a huge loss, but I think the Bills can still possibly contend for this division. Certainly can contend for a wild card spot. The Cardinals are still rebuilding. I like the Bills to circle the wagons at home against the Cardinals. Which, by
For
the
me, I
way,
think. Oh, go
and
ahead.
also by the way, Mizzle is also picking the Bills.
Okay. For me, I think it's pretty simple. When I look at these two teams, I look at the fact that not only are the Cardinals still building on offense, they're still building on defense. Um, I don't know why Buda Baker has fallen off so much at safety. I don't know
That
if it's because of the
that's
change.
that's
Does
a
that
very good
make sense
question.
to you? Does that make
That's a
any
very
sense?
good question.
It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And the fact that he was on the trading blocks during the offseason blew my mind.
He
So what I
made I don't know because I mean when he first came to the league, he was a force. He was
yeah,
a factor in that defense, and that's a very good point that you make because I mean, granted,
I'm scratching my head too on that one. I don't know what's going on with him. It's like he all of a sudden forgot how to play football. And I think it might be scheme. I think that the new scheme that they're in over the last couple of years did not suit him. I'm hoping that with the coaching change, I was hoping, I should say, with the coaching change last year, we would have seen things change with him this year. So right now, I've got to lean towards Buffalo. I think Buffalo is a little bit in a rebuild mode themselves on the offensive side of the ball,
mhm.
and I think they've got a couple of rookies that they're hoping to really start pulling their weight on the defensive side. But I watched a couple of their games in preseason, and their defense looks stout. So I'm gonna go with Buffalo as well.
Well, you have a healthy returning Von Miller coming back, and I'm pretty sure he wants to get at the quarterback. He definitely been anxious, but
Definite.
next up, Gerard Mayo getting his coaching debut in the jungle against the Bengals. The Bengals scheduled to wear
Bengals.
their all orange jerseys. And yeah, it's quite unanimous. All three of us are picking Cincinnati. And just announced today, it is Jacoby Brissett getting the starting nod for the Patriots at quarterback.
That's another mistake.
But for those that have betting interest in that, we'll go to the line. Spread is Bengals -9. Total is 40.5. Money line Patriots plus 340. Bengals -425. But Chris likes the jungle. Mizzle likes the jungle, and I like the jungle as well. All right, next game. This one, I don't know. It's a very interesting, intriguing matchup here as we have the Minnesota Vikings heading to East Rutherford to take on the East Rutherford Giants as the Giants are celebrating their 100th season as a football franchise. You just said Minnesota?
No, I just said the Giants. Can you believe
Oh,
I'm going
you're
to?
picking you're
Yes.
picking the Giants.
Yes. Can you believe that?
It,
Do you know
it,
why I'm picking the Giants?
explain, sir.
Who's playing quarterback for Minnesota?
Oh, I see ghosts. Never mind. Never
Yes.
mind. Never mind.
And who has the better defense?
Yeah, the Giants have a slight edge.
Exactly. So now you know I'm picking the Giants.
Well,
Even though they got Danny Nichols
yes, Mr. Flintstone.
starting at quarterback, and that
Um,
bugs the hell out of me because he's good for a pick six. I think that their defense is stout enough that they will be able to hold up. And if you truly look at this, I don't know if oh man, why can't I think of his name? Aiden, the guy that plays opposite not Chase, because that's Jamar Chase is in Cincinnati.
talking about
Justin
talking about Addison.
Addison, thank you. I don't know if he's 100%. He went down with that injury in preseason. They never played him again, and they never said what his injury was or how long he'd be out. So I don't know necessarily that he's 100% and ready
Okay,
to play.
now Daniel Jones does have targets to throw to.
Yes,
He
he does.
has
Neighbors is
he
no
does
joke.
he does have Jalen Hyatt, second year man from Tennessee.
Yep.
Of course, they just drafted Malik Neighbors from
Yep.
LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, you still have Darius Slayton, who's been very, very solid,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes the forgotten man. Eric Gray had a very strong preseason running the football. Then you add Devin Singletary to that run game. So it's not like that Daniel Jones has nobody to throw to.
Exactly.
But
Can
at
he
the
put
same
it all together is a question.
that is the ultimate question. And
Yes.
I mean, this is pretty much a breaker. This may be a make or break season for Brian Dable, who just 2 years ago was the darling of the NFL because he took this roster to the playoffs and they won a playoff game against this Vikings team. Now, obviously, this is not the Vikings of Kirk Cousins, and we'll get to him later on. But as far as the Vikings go, you lose Dalvin Cook, you lose Madison, um, and you lose some other receivers. Now, yes, Brandon Powell and Addison can complement Justin Jefferson. Yes, you did add Aaron Jones in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but is the defense strong enough? You lost Joseph. He's gone. You don't have Kendricks. You don't have Anthony Barr. So it's a really a plug-in of who's who on this defense. It's the great unknown. But I will say that Malik Neighbors will find the end zone in his first game. But Mizzle is going to pick the Vikings.
Not
So
surprised.
we have our first disagreement. So you like the Giants. Mizzle likes the Vikings. I will go East Rutherford as well, just because the unknown of the Vikings.
I gotta say it. Are you following me because of our win loss record last year?
No,
I'm just giving you crap. I
I
had
no,
to say.
I no, I just think Malik Neighbors might have a very big debut for the Giants in his first NFL game. I just really do.
Well, my question mark is still I don't know who the defensive coordinator is for the Minnesota Vikings, and watching them play in
Uh-oh.
preseason, it was not one of
Uh-oh.
those great things to
Uh-oh.
see out for.
Oh, it might be coming back. No, there was a very nice punt return by North Carolina, who's up 7-0, by the way, on Minnesota in the second quarter. Had a nice return, but might be coming back for, as Chris likes to say, it might be some cheating going on here.
Hey, you know
Might
what? They
be,
like to do that.
yeah, it might be a block in the back. And right now, Minnesota has an injury on the field, and he is grabbing his calf. That's not good.
If he's grabbing his calf, he's probably dehydrated and has a cramp.
All right. Next up, a very anticipated debut in the Windy City as Caleb Williams makes his official debut for the Chicago Bears as they are home opening up against the Tennessee Titans. Spread is the Bears minus 4.5. Total is 45.5. Money line Titans plus 175. Bears minus.
Wait, who are they playing?
Bears and Titans in
Titans.
Soldier Field.
Hmm.
Bears and Titans.
In Soldier Field, I'm gonna have to go with, and I hate to do this, but as of right now, I'm gonna have to go with the Bears.
Bears.
And and I'm saying this with tongue in cheek a little bit. Um, First off, I do not trust Caleb Williams. I just don't. I've heard,
you have been on that all off season.
yeah, and the thing about it is, like I said, who's the one team that beat him all the time? Utah.
Correct.
And why did they beat him all the time? Because of the defense that they showed. If you don't think that every pro football team isn't going to mock that defense against him, you're dumb. They're gonna bring a little bit of nuances in it, and they're gonna show him things he hasn't seen. So the other side of that is I've got to go with them because the Bears, I think, have a better defense between the two. And I will ask the question. I know the answer, but who's playing quarterback for the Titans? And better yet, who's he throwing to?
Other than DeAndre Hopkins, I don't know.
Exactly. And DeAndre Hopkins is basically Methuselah at this point in time with how old he is. I'm surprised there's not more gray hair than braids. So, well, I'm sorry, he doesn't have braids. He has dreads. So I'm surprised he doesn't look like my brother with the great dreads. And we'll just leave it at that.
All right. Well, next game. Really don't have to say much about this.
Well, wait a minute. You didn't. You didn't say your
Panthers.
pick.
Oh, Chicago.
And what's Mizzle's pick?
More so because they're more the Bears.
Yeah. So all three of us on the Bears.
So we
Okay.
all agree on the win decision
Yep.
on the Bears. Um,
The
this game,
Bears.
I don't think there's really not much to say. Panthers, Saints in the Superdome. I'm just gonna say Saints.
Um. Damn. This is one of those that I'm having a hard time with only because I don't know how much the Saints have left, and I mean that from the standpoint of defense. A lot of them are getting older, and flat out old. So I'm going to go with the Saints in this one, but it's going to be by the skin of my teeth. Well, I guess it's just me. We lost Dub. Hey, I could take over the show. I know what I could do. Ooh. Until he signs back in, there's a lot of things I could do on this show right now. But anyway, um, I'll fill in some time while he signs back in. I think the biggest thing that I was going to say about the reason that I have a big hard time, a big problem picking the Saints is just they're so old, and Derek Carr is not exactly my pick for quarterback of the year or anything like that. And he makes a lot of mistakes, and I don't know that he's got the best wide receiving core that's going to stay healthy. So it's going to be a very interesting piece for him. So, yep, here comes Dub. But we shall see. We shall see what happens.
Come on.
As my
Oh,
co-host is signing back in, lost you for a second there, bud.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
so it was me freezing. Okay. So,
Yes.
as I was saying before we got really interrupted by technology, a very intriguing matchup here between the Falcons and the Steelers in Atlanta. We got Kirk Cousins making his Falcons debut. We got Russell Wilson officially named the starting quarterback for the Steelers. Um, where do you want to go with this one?
This is literally a can I get a coin toss, please?
It's a toss up.
Yeah, I mean you got Queen back, you got Patrick Queen now playing with the Steelers.
Yeah,
So I think
him
he's
and
gonna
him and Watt's going to be nasty. That's
yeah.
going to be nasty.
And the thing about it is, you know that with Watt's injuries last year, he's hungry.
Yes.
And he's going to be coming after Kirk Cousins heavily. And if there's a telltale that Kurt isn't 100% on that torn Achilles,
yes,
they're going to have a field day. Pittsburgh's going to have a field day with it.
absolutely.
So right now, my question mark is the Steelers scoring. That's my only question mark. Pickens looks like he's the real deal, and he is quickly becoming Wilson's favorite target in the preseason. So I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with the Steelers on this one. I don't think I can go with the Falcons, even though they're at home. There's too many question marks right now. And while I love the running back, while I love Pitts, while I love the receivers that they have, the question mark to me is still um, will Kirk Cousins have time in that pocket to get the ball downfield? So I'm going to go with the defense again, and I'm going to say the Steelers.
Well, as me and Mizzle say all the time on the Mizzle and Dub show, never go against Mike Tomlin. And we're
Yeah,
gonna stick to that motto. He likes
especially after the
Pittsburgh.
losing season.
That's that and then there's that.
Mhm.
So I agree. So we are all on the Steelers of Pittsburgh against the Falcons in Atlanta. The Battle of Florida in Miami in the 407. It is Sunshine and the Jacksonville Jaguars trending into Miami to take on Tua and the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
You like Miami?
No,
Mizzle?
dude, how can you not? You're playing in Miami, number one. Number two, you know that it's going to be a high scoring game.
Yeah.
And the question mark truly is will Sunshine be able to keep up with Tua when Tua's got the cheetah? So my thought is it's real simple. This is the healthiest Miami's going to be all season.
Yeah, well, Jared is that. Well, I mean, yeah, the Cheetahs having on them doggone babies.
Yep.
Mizzle agrees with you. He likes Miami.
Woo-hoo!
I like the Dolphins as well. Of course, the Dolphins did put up 70 in one game last season. But I mean,
Yeah,
this,
probably got their
this
ass
offense,
next game.
this offense, when it's together, they really can score. especially if the elements are in their favor with all that team speed they had. In addition to Jalen Waddle, they also have Jalen Waddle and of course the cheetah that is Tyreek Hill. You also have Malik Washington. You also have Brandon Bowles. You also have Raheem Mostert, A Chain in the backfield. So I mean, it's a very potent, solid offensive group with the Dolphins, but the Jaguars have some players too. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise. I mean, they're only giving Miami -3, so there you have it right there. So they expect it to be a close game. This
Yep.
one I expect also to be a close game because it was close the last time they played, and the last time they played, it was playoff implications on the line. It is the defending champions of the AFC South, the Houston Texans, taking on the Indianapolis Colts from the Big Horseshoe in
Wait,
Indianapolis.
timeout, timeout, timeout. Who did you choose? You got
My,
the Dolphins, right?
correct, yes.
And Mizzle?
He picked Miami as well.
Okay, just double checking. I didn't
Okay,
hear that. My bad.
all right. Texans and Colts in Indianapolis. The returning Anthony Richardson, of course, he was an MVP candidate for most of the season before he missed some time. C.J. Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, obviously trying to build that momentum as the Texans grabbed last year. Some might say the Texans could possibly take that next step into making a deeper run in these AFC playoffs. I mean, I've liked what the Texans have done. I've liked what they've added. Um, I got them
Especially with
winning.
Diggs.
Yes, yeah, adding Diggs, and it's not like they needed Stephon Diggs. I mean, it was just
No,
like, here, take him,
right,
Houston. We will give him to you for nothing, for
right.
absolutely nothing. Take him.
And I don't know how it was getting rid of a diva. I have no idea. Oh, sorry, but now the Colorado just scored to make it 24-20. Well,
All right,
23-20, pending the
and,
extra point.
and Sacramento State and San Jose State is just getting ready to kick off in the 408 in the Bay Area,
Okay.
which I'm sure our good friend Josh Pernado, the All Pro Jaffos, of course, has a very seeming interest in that particular game, given his work with San Jose State. But I mean, here's the thing: it's not like the Texans needed Stephon Diggs because you already had Nico Collins, who's a very good wide receiver.
Very good.
Okay, you also have Tank Dell, who's also another very good wide
Who you
receiver.
covering?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the messed up part. You're at not. You still have John Mechie the third from Alabama, who's not a slouch himself.
And you also
So
got
really,
the tight end.
yes, you have. Yes. Oh,
So
and
I
not
mean,
to
they've got
mention,
weapons.
not to mention, in addition to Dalton Schultz, oh, by the way, you still have Robert Woods on the team.
Hmm.
So you have
When not injured, he's a hell of a wide receiver. So
yes,
the
yes,
thing about it is pick your poison. The
yes,
hard part is going to be, even though the Colts have a highly ranked PFF, that is highly ranked defense coming in,
yes,
the
yes.
problem is there's nobody that they could bracket. So you're going to have some wide receivers that are going to be running pretty open,
Mm-hmm,
especially from the slot position. And
mm-hmm.
if Diggs gets into the slot,
Oh
oh,
boy.
forget it.
Oh baby.
You're
Yep.
giving him a two-way go, a natural two-way go. That's going to be problems.
Well, Mizzle likes the Texans. I like Houston as well.
I like
Um,
the Texans.
deep in the heart of Indianapolis. All right, next up on the bill, we have Mizzle's beloved Raiders, and we already know who he's picking, against the
Oh,
Chargers of Inglewood. Jim Harbaugh back in the NFL after a 10-year absence. Of course,
yeah.
pending the health of Justin Herbert, that's the biggest question. They got the
He's
Chargers at
healthy again.
-3.5. The total is 41.5, and the money line they got Chargers -175, Raiders +150. Um,
Hey, you're not gonna. Mizzle's not gonna like me. Mizzle's not gonna like me at all.
all right,
Going
well, I
with the
mean,
Chargers.
he's picking the Chargers. He's
Yep.
saying, "Go Chargers, go."
Garden Minshew scares me.
Well, I mean, he did go 7-6 in the games he started last year for the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
He is serviceable. The question I have is, can Zamir White Zeus, the former Georgia Bulldog, can he now be the main guy and carry the load that Josh Jacobs did the last few seasons? Which again, I've always said Zamir White has the home run speed to finish that Josh Jacobs did not have, because obviously Zamir White is a lot faster. Obviously, in Minshew's case, can he establish gaining Devontae Adams going early and often? That's one thing. Can he utilize both playmakers at tight end, because he's got two of them to utilize in Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer?
True.
Um,
But the question mark that you're not asking is, do they have the offensive line to
that's the
block
ultimate question. That's the
and
ultimate
do they
question.
have the offensive line for
Outside
those two bookends? You know,
outside of Colton Miller at left tackle and Andre James the center, can the guards and the right tackle maintain? But also, here's the question I have every year for the Chargers: can Joey Bosa play a full season? That has always been a question
you
about
know
him
what?
ever since he
But
has
we don't
gotten
have
into
to
the
worry
league.
about a full season. We just have to worry about this one game.
Correct.
And that's why I'm picking them. Now you know why I'm picking them. Because they're going to both be healthy, and this is going to be the healthiest both of these teams are all season, and they're going to have all their defensive weapons. And if you think for a second that the Chargers, under their new head coach, doesn't have something to show on defense, you are sadly mistaken.
Here's my problem that I have with Jim Harbaugh. Now,
Okay.
granted, everywhere Jim Harbaugh goes, he wins. There's no question about that.
Mm-hmm.
He wherever he goes, he wins. He turned around Stanford, won at San Diego. Obviously, we know what he did in the 4 seasons he was in San Francisco / Santa Clara. Won 10 games plus every year that he was the head coach of his alma mater at Michigan. Um, but again, I know new head coach. I know new coaching staff. I don't trust Greg Roman as an offense coordinator. I just don't, because he just finds a way to not go with what works. Kind of reminds me of Kyle Shanahan. Um, but
Yeah, but
the
this could easily be a San Diego 17, Raiders 14.
yes, it can. I mean, this is a long time division rival. This is a long time division game.
These are two stout defenses playing each other. These
Correct.
are not two stout offenses playing each other. So my question mark is, and this is truly what I just looked at. Who do I trust more at quarterback? Herbert? Minshew.
Well, if you're basing on quarterbacks, it's Herbert all day.
Exactly. Now you know why I picked San Diego. Or excuse me, I want to keep saying San Diego. Now you know
They
why I
should be in San Diego.
Yes, they should be.
They
I
should
hate
be.
the LA
They,
Chargers.
they should be in that stadium that's in our background right now. They should be in that city right
Yes,
there.
they should be.
Damn you, Dean Spanos. Um,
Jackass.
but now here's my question I have with the Chargers.
Okay.
As too much talent as they have, can they learn to finish games under Harbaugh? Because how many times over the years have we seen the Chargers, who have one of the best talented rosters in the league, from one man to the 53rd man, but yet they find a way to blow double-digit leads?
Okay, but you're also talking about, like you said, these were other teams.
Correct.
When have you seen a Harbaugh led team not finish a game? Whether it was in college or in the pros. You're a 49er fan, you know.
Yeah, the 2013 NFC title game where they were up on
One
the
game.
Seahawks.
One game. Most of the other games that he has ever played, he's ever coached in, he has finished. You know what it comes back to? It comes back to what we talk about as being a salesman here in town. You can do 1,000 good things for one person, you fuck up once, and they MF you for the rest of the time that you're around.
Correct.
So you can't hold one game against the man. If he is doing that, he can finish other games, and he did, then the one game means absolutely nothing.
Again, he put Jed York, in a sense, firing Harbaugh, put my organization in a tailspin for 4 seasons until 2019. Because from 2015 to 2018, it was tough being a Niner fan. Now, don't get me wrong. It allowed me to sit literally one row in front of the field and only paying $50 per ticket on a Thursday night game against the Rams, and the Rams wearing those hideous, ugly mustard yellow uniforms.
Oh, I love those.
Those are hideous. I'm sorry.
I
But
don't like those. I was just kidding when I say I love them.
oh, okay, all right. Because I'm just like,
Can't stand those damn uniforms.
yeah, I don't like. Well, I don't like the
That's
man.
like the Bumblebee uniforms from friggin' Pittsburgh. I can't stand those. I think they're hideous. Like, what the f- are you wearing? Take those damn things off.
Well, heck, I don't like the Rams uniforms of today. I'm like, why you just didn't go back to the Dickerson look? That was fine, especially when you were coming back to Los Angeles. The
Man,
Dickerson
don't get
look never lost its. The Dickerson
don't,
look never lost its style. But
no.
actually, I'm
Funny
I'm
though when they do throwbacks, and we all the old heads know that they're throwbacks, and all the kids are like, "Oh, I really like that uniform. It's a new look." No, it ain't.
all right.
No, it ain't. Shut up. It's not a new look.
It's just we had some very good looking uniforms back in our day. But
So, who are you picking in this game?
I'm only picking the Chargers just because of this one thing. Oh, that's
Wait. You said you're picking who?
I'm picking the Inglewood Chargers just because of this one thing.
So Mizzle's gonna hate both of us. Love you, Mizzle, if you're listening.
No, I'm only picking the Chargers just because of this one fact. Harbaugh has never lost an opening day as an NFL head coach, and I think that streak continues.
I would agree.
So
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
it's going to be a very close game. I definitely don't think the Raiders will put up 63 points like they did on the Chargers in the last game.
Yeah,
but
I think all day long we're gonna have close games.
I think it'll be close. But on a side note, I am happy to see J.K. Dobbins back healthy. I've liked the kid since Ohio State, and he is a very talented running back, and I hope he gets the chance to finally showcase his skill. I really do.
Is he in San Diego? All right. God,
He's
there
on
we
the
go again. Is he in Chargers?
Yes, he is on the Inglewood Chargers, yes.
I love the kid, and I agree with you. I hope I hope this is the year he stays healthy, 100% healthy.
Yeah.
And I would be very happy for him because I think that he's a talent that never got out. He's basically he is, and this is just me. He is the Ferrari that the dude just refuses to take out of the garage. I hope he can finally get out of the garage and show what he's made of.
Yeah. All right. So they once upon a time were former division rivals, but in the Pacific Northwest, it is the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. And if you're Bo Nix, you got a heck of a debut dealing with that fan base and that noise in that stadium.
And that defense, they are coming around.
And that defense. If you're looking at the spread, Seahawks 5.5, total is 41.5. Money line Denver plus 200, Seahawks minus 240. Like I said, Knicks looked very solid in preseason against vanilla stuff. Now this is the real deal, but like I said, you picked a heck of a time to make your debut in the land of the 12s.
Going with Seattle.
I might need to get some mouthwash for this because this is really going to hurt me to say. But
you are not going with. Oh, you're going with Seattle, aren't you?
I am going with Seattle. Yeah.
Did you some Listerine?
I got some in the bathroom.
Yeah,
that I'm going to gargle my mouth out with.
Well, look, I've got 2 so far. So how do you think I feel?
I
why
can
do you
imagine.
why do you think I'm drinking? There's a method to my madness.
All right, so you, myself, and Mizzle, we are all in agreement. As much as this hurts me, I am going the Seahawks as well. And now we turn into Tom Brady's debut in the broadcast booth. I rather listen to Brad Sham on the radio, as
I
it
would
is.
rather listen to a gun going off next to my ear than listening to Tom Brady. But anyway, go ahead.
It is Chris's beloved Arlington Cowboys on the shores of Lake Erie in the dog pound, taking on the Cleveland Browns.
He is calling. Fuck. God, the
Chris
fuck
is
is this
like,
world
damn
coming
it.
to? My God, I got to listen to his ass. You know what I might have to do? I might have to turn on the radio and listen to the call on the radio and
Like I
turn
said,
the volume down on the TV.
you might have to listen to Brad Sham on
I'd much
Cowboys
rather listen
Radio.
to Brad Sham. Brad Sham's actually a good.
No,
He's a good caller. I mean,
no,
play-by-play.
Brad Sham has been very good for a very, very
Long
long time.
Yes.
Definitely enjoy listening to Brad Sham. The times I do get to listen to him. No, Brad has been very good for a long time, for sure, for sure.
So I'm going to tear this game apart just a little bit, and I'm going
Go
to
ahead.
say, what CD is not going to play the whole game. They are going to rotate him in and out all game long. I think that this is going to be a really good test for Guyton going up against the defensive end. I can't think of his name right now, from Cleveland.
Myles Garrett.
No, thank you, Myles Garrett. Knew his number, just couldn't think of his name. Here's when I look at this game, the question mark for me is truly Amari Cooper, who went against Trayvon Diggs pretty much every day in practice.
Mhm.
That's going to be the coverage. So I'm interested to see if you're going to tell me Deshaun Watson is playing at quarterback. It's going to be very interesting because I think Zimmer's going to have his number all day. I think that this is going to be a low-scoring game, and my pick for this game is, you can call it a homer pick if you want. I'm going with my Cowboys because I truly think, even though there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, the Cowboys are losing this first game, and they're probably going to lose their second game and start the season 0-2," I am not one of those people. I think that Cleveland is one of those teams that is a misnomer, and I think that Deshaun Jackson can be had. So we'll see.
You stole my thunder, damn you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, come on, man.
No,
I'm always
no. But I'm just saying, and I'm gonna have to wash myself out with some mouthwash again.
You're going with the Cowboys, aren't you?
I'm picking the star, yes. And the reason why I'm picking the star is because you just said the magic name, Mike Zimmer, running that defense. Now again, I'm very high on the Browns. I was very high on the Browns last season. I think the Browns legitimately could be a player in the AFC. I still think that. But however, not having Nick Chubb for the first 4 weeks, it's going to hurt them. And you know how much I love Nick Chubb, Georgia Bulldog, and all that. But again, you just pointed out, we don't know which version of Deshaun Watson we're going to get. We don't know.
No.
If he can be the one from about 4 years ago when he was the Texans, the Browns legitimately can win this division because the AFC North is very, very loaded.
Wide open. Yeah, but hold on. And let me just put it to you this way: Watson has not been himself since he left.
Correct.
The Texans.
Correct.
Not to mention he has not finished a season since he left the Texans. My question mark with him, and because of the way Zimmer likes to play his defense, the thing that I have going in the back of my mind, there's a couple of things. And one of the biggest is, how many mistakes are they going to force Deshaun into? And that isn't just because it's my team, but because I think that Deshaun has a hard time reading defenses, especially when they disguise. And here's the thing: if I'm looking at Micah Parsons and he's playing on one side of my center, and I look up and I see another linebacker and they're crowding the AB gap, I'm nervous because I know one of those guys are coming free. And my question mark is, without Chubb, are they going to get that block? And the one place that quarterbacks hate pressure coming from is right up the middle.
Right up the middle, absolutely.
And that's if Zimmer blitzes, that's where he's bringing the blitz from. And if he's not bringing it from there, he also likes to come on the quarterback's blind side because he wants fumbles. So Deshaun is going to be keeping his head on a swivel. And we all know one of the biggest problems with Deshaun is if you put pressure on him, he starts looking at the rush and not downfield. So there's a couple reasons why I like the Cowboys in this game. Those are a few of them. Offensively, I don't know what they're going to be. I have no idea. I know they have weapons on offense. I know Dak is one of those weapons. As much as people want to give him grief and say he's not worth whatever, I don't give a rat's ass. He's a top 10 quarterback. You can say anything you want. Look at the stats. Stats don't lie, as so many people say. Um, and when you start talking about his shortcomings in the playoffs, remember, it is a team game, not an individual game. So we'll see what happens, but I'm riding with my Cowboys.
Well, my only question I have for the Browns offensively is who's going to take the load at running back. Is it Jerome Ford? Is it Strong? Um, is it Naheem Hines? That's the big question I have. Because again, like I said, the Browns have some playmakers that they can throw the ball to. He has Elijah Moore. He has Amari Cooper. Oh, we've just forgot they also have Jerry Jeudy to line up alongside Elijah Moore and Amari Cooper. Not to mention they still have David Njoku at tight end. So I think the Browns, if Watson can find a stride, I think the Browns, like I said, the Browns can be a player in the AFC, especially because of their defense. Because, like I said, their defense was very, very good, and I think the Browns' defense is going to be very, very good. Again, because re-signing Zadarius Smith to tag team along with Myles Garrett is going to be huge for that defense. And I love their linebacker, who they just re-signed. And I know I'm gonna botch his name, but Osu Kamara from Notre Dame, who they just re-signed um, at will linebacker. He is a stout force in the middle, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But um, here's my question for you, sir. How will they utilize this run game of Zeke, um, Dodal, and the newly just acquired um, Dalvin Cook?
Cook isn't playing. He's
He's
on
not
the
playing.
practice squad.
Okay.
So realistically, you're going to be looking at Dowdle, um, Zeke, and Deuce.
Not Royce Freeman?
Freeman got cut.
Okay. All right.
So those are the three that you're looking at right now. They, if I'm not mistaken, they just signed somebody else. But bottom line is, those are the three guys that you're going to see. What I think they're going to wind up doing with those three is Dowdle's going to be kind of that game wrecker, if you will, because he's got the speed. You're going to see a lot of Zeke, short yardage situations. We all know what he can do. And Deuce is going to be that change of pace back that can come in and make some plays with his feet, and also out of the backfield catching the ball. So
Now,
we'll see what the game plan is.
now another question for you is how will they utilize Jalen Tolbert in this offense with Sedarius and Mr. Cooks? And not to mention, you still have the fast rabbit that is Mr. Turpin, who I really do like.
I think what you're going to see is, with the three wide receivers, to me it's going to be, without a doubt, it'll be Lamb, Cooks, and Tolbert as the 1, 2, 3. And when they do that, the player that is the misnomer, especially against Cleveland, which will be a mismatch no matter how many times you face it, will be Ferguson at the tight end position. I think that he can be a mismatch for any linebacker or safety because of his size and speed. So it's pick your poison with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought on this is, depending on what they do as far as time wise, I think what you're going to wind up seeing out of them is some short yardage passes to start things off, and a little bit of dosage of that 11 personnel, so that way they can get you thinking one thing and showing you something totally different. So I would not be surprised, because the one thing that I do know is uh, Garrett, while he's a great pass rusher, he is not the greatest run stopper in the league. So it will be interesting to see, maybe some jet sweeps coming his way. Um, and just getting him out of his game, because when he pins his ears back and goes after the quarterback, that's when he's the most problematic.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think they're going to let him do that.
All right. On the pirate ship in Tampa, Florida, it'll be Jaden Daniels making his debut for the Commanders as they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, the last 3 seasons, have been the care holder of the NFC South Division. Baker Mayfield coming off the best season of his career, running it back. Commanders and Buccaneers from the pirate ship. How do you see this game? And before that, Mizzle picked the Buccaneers in this game.
Who are you picking?
I'm writing now. Don't get me wrong. Jaden Daniels has looked impressive running this offense, but I do like I like the Buccaneers. I do. I like Tampa at home. I think Raymond. I think Baker's going to get better under this offense in with the Buccaneers. And not to mention, I just think that Mike Evans is going to have a big day catching the ball. But one thing I do like is I do like the dynamic of adding Bucky Irving, the running back from Oregon, to complement Royce White. Definitely, you can do some things in that. But also, I am expecting a big rebound year from Chris Godwin to complement Mike Evans. And I'm also expecting to see a bigger year from Auden, the tight end. Now, granted, yes, on the defensive side of the ball, yes, not having Pat White is going to hurt. But but you still have Whitehead, you still have Winfield in the back of that secondary, and you still got Lavonte David, who is a force. But the key for the Buccaneers is the big guy in the middle, and that's Mr. Vitavea. As long as he is plugging in the middle and causing havoc, the Buccaneers defense can still play that normal Tampa 2 and do what they do, and perhaps get off to a win over the Commanders here in Week 1.
So, who would you say the Commanders' best wide receiver was before the season started?
I still say it's McLaurin, but now his sidekick has now been traded to the Eagles in Dotson.
Yep.
So I mean, really, other than McLaurin, I mean, who do you have to throw the ball to? I mean, do you trust?
So they just signed Noah Brown.
Yeah.
From the Cowboys. He was on the Cowboys. He was with the Texans last year. And I'm gonna go with I'm gonna follow you guys, and I'm going with Tampa Bay. I think that the Commanders are gonna make a more of a game out of this and than what we want. But I think that Tampa Bay will pull it out in the end. I think that Daniels is gonna see some things that he's not used to seeing. So I think that's where the rubber will meet the road, and I think that's where the difference is going to be.
All right. All right. You know things are trending upward if the Detroit Lions are debuting the regular season on Sunday night, but they are, as it is Sunday night football in the heart of Detroit, Michigan, as the Lions at home taking on the Inglewood Rams in a rematch of last year's divisional playoff game.
This one's going to be a tough one to pick.
Or a wildcard game. I think the Rams have vastly improved
greatly
in this game. And of course, anytime that Matthew Stafford is really healthy at 100%, he is still a very effective, good quarterback and can still sling the football. And if you have betting numbers in this game between the Lions and the Rams, it is the Lions minus 3.5. The total is 50.5. Money line Rams plus 150. Lions 175. I'm anxious to see how the Rams are going to utilize Kyron Williams and Blake Corum in that backfield. As I said on our prediction show, I am not looking forward to seeing that duo that is Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup.
But what about the rookie number? I think he's 84 with the long dreads. He was a damn good player too in the preseason. Can't think of his name right now, but
talking about Jordan Whittington,
yeah, it might be him.
or are you talking about Tutu Atwell?
No, I think it's the first one.
Oh, Jordan Whittington.
Yeah, I think that
the rookie from Texas. Yes, I know. Yeah. Yes, the rookie from Texas. Yes. Who JP was not happy about seeing him go to the to the Army. Yeah. But you got Blake Corum, you got Ronnie Rivers, you got Kyron Williams in the backfield. Obviously, like I said, when Matt Stafford's healthy, he can still sling the ball. It's going to be interesting to see this Rams defense first season without is this the first season or second season without Aaron Donald?
First.
Okay. So interesting to see how this defense is going to look without Big 99 in the middle. That's going to be interesting to see. But at the end of the day, Detroit's just going to be on fire during that night. But now the Lions are going to be shown that they're now going to become the hunted as opposed to them being the hunter. How will they handle that? But I think they have the right guy in Dan Campbell to have them ready for that. I say it's going to be a close game, but I like the Lions by a field goal.
Okay. Who does Mizzle have?
Mizzle also has the Lions of Detroit.
All right, this is where I might take a step back from you guys.
I was going to pick the Rams.
I am.
All right.
I am.
All right. Chris likes the Rams.
I can't. I just. That offense is just looking good, and their defense was looking starting to look up. So, and they got the 2 defensive tackles from Florida State.
Of course.
So
there is that Seminoles tie. I get it. Yeah. I understand it. I get it.
So I gotta, and it's not the Seminoles piece that I'm looking at. It's more of just like you said, when Stafford's healthy, and I don't think they've got the guys to cover Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup. And when you start to
realistically, who does? Who does have the secondary to cover those 2 guys?
Dallas, when they've got a healthy Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland.
Which, by the way, Bland not playing is also a huge loss for the Cowboys this Sunday against the
Browns. But this kid Keelan is anyway. They hit on another late round pick. Let's just put it that way.
Hold on, I'm trying to find.
So Monday, do we have a Monday night game?
Yes, we do. It's my beloved Niners against the Jets.
Ooh, Jets. I'm just kidding. I should have waited for your look before I said just kidding.
You're talking about Kalen Carson from Wake Forest?
Kalen Carson, thank you.
All right. Well, I mean, if that's who you're picking, that's who you're picking. I mean, one thing is, okay, let's get this out the way for those that are just discovering us for the first time. One thing is for sure, Chris, myself, and Mizzle, we're always going to pick our team because we're just homers. That's just who we are. We're just as fans. We're always going to think our teams to win. Now,
for sure,
we can say we have concerns, but I mean, when it comes to our teams, we always think they're going to win. Now, like I said, me and Chris will be at war week 8. I think it is when his beloved Cowboy. I think it's week 8 when your beloved Cowboys.
But anyway, yeah, when we're playing each other,
yeah,
Dub will probably come over to the house. He's a gracious winner, so I can go ahead and say that because he was over here last year when they whooped our ass.
I took a damn nap, and Christina decided to take a picture of me taking a nap.
Well, dude, I would have taken a nap too. My team was comfortably ahead. I didn't. What were you watching?
A slaughter.
I watched at that point in time.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Week 7. Cowboys and Niners
Okay,
on
so
Sunday night.
how about that? You said 8, I said 6.
We were
Right in the
somewhere in the
middle.
we met in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
We met in the middle. But
Yes.
Niners and Jets in Santa Clara. Obviously, my biggest concern is Trent Williams not being in uniform, not even on the current roster as we speak, which gives me high concern because, like I said, having Jalen Moore now being the starting left tackle concerns me. Um, so right now, their starting five on the offensive line would be this. It would be, oh God, really? Spencer Burford, God help us. Oh Lord. So the right side of the offensive line and Jalen Moore concerns me. And I'm pretty sure Robert Saleh is going to be dialing up some blitzes to try and get in the face of Brock Purdy. And I'm pretty sure if the Jets pull off the upset, I'm pretty sure John Lynch is going to be okay. Trent, how much guarantee do you want to try to get him back in there? Now,
Well, hopefully, I'm just hoping Purdy doesn't get hurt. That's all I'm saying.
that's the
And
ultimate. That's the ultimate. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
and so I'm leaning towards the 49ers. And the reason why I say I'm leaning towards the 49ers is because Trent's not in there. And that is a major loss to your offense. I don't care what anybody says.
No,
From
facts are
a,
facts.
it's a horrible loss, and I think it hurts you guys in the run game, and it hurts you in the pass game.
Well, yeah, because they have success running to the left side behind Trent Williams and behind Aaron Banks on that left side of the line. It was almost the same thing back during the hardball years when you had Joe Staley and Mike Ayupati on the left side.
Yep.
Because Ayupati was one of the best pulling guards in football with the way he pulled on the counters and
Yeah, he was good, but he wasn't a Larry Allen.
But that God only made one Larry Allen, and you saw why he was
that man was not human.
and you saw why he was an all-time Hall of Fame player.
Yes. First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer. That's a big boy that went to Sonoma State, Northern California in the house. But
And
in this,
last when he was blocking you.
well, he was a solid Niner for 2 years. It was certainly weird seeing him wear the red and gold after so many years wearing that cowboy navy and silver and wearing
Why
the
the
scarf for so
Cowboys
many
let him
years.
walk away, I'll never know. He should have spent his entire career as a Cowboy. I know he retired as a Cowboy, but he should have spent his entire career as a Cowboy. Shouldn't have gone, and it like Emmitt Smith should never have gone to another program ever.
Yeah, it's still weird seeing Emmett wearing that cardinal red.
Don't
Weird,
get me
weird.
started.
Well, heck, that's like, Jerry Rice wore a Raiders jersey, a Seahawks jersey, and a Broncos jersey.
Yeah, never should have happened.
That,
Anyway,
that's weird.
very
Seeing Thurman Thomas wear a Miami Dolphins jersey was weird.
yes.
But nonetheless,
Seeing Zach Thomas in a Cowboys jersey was weird.
I forgot that happened.
Yep.
Heck, Jason Taylor wearing a Redskins jersey.
Oh, disgusting.
But that is it for this particular episode of Talking Ish. As we just went through week 1 of the NFL, we can talk about the matchups. Went through picks. It is rum versus tequila versus whiskey. Of course, the winner will get the bottle of their choice. So I'm trying to get off. I'm trying to get off the schneid because I lost to both of them last season. So I'm not trying to have this again.
So wait a minute. Who's the tequila drinker?
Mizzle is tequila.
Okay.
You are rum.
Yes. I didn't know you're a whiskey drinker.
Well, yes, I'm a huge fan of your country's Crown Royal. Yes.
Oh, okay. I actually still like Woodford Reserve.
Oh, I see.
Bourbon whiskey mix, which is very tasty.
Charles Woodson's is not bad, also. I must say.
Hmm.
His is pretty good. You should give it. You should give it a sample.
I will have to do that. I'll have to do that.
All
Well,
right.
folks, we will be. We'll try to be on. I think next week we got to be on before the season starts. So I mean, we got games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week.
Well, not on Sunday in the NFL, but Thursday and Friday for sure.
I thought there was a Saturday game too.
Not in the NFL, no.
Okay, so it's just
That's not till later
Thursday,
on the season.
Friday. Okay,
Now,
Thursday, Friday,
yeah.
Monday, Sunday.
Now Saturday is full fledged college football.
That's right. That's right.
but-
They don't try to. They
Yeah.
don't try to go against each other. I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
Yeah, but NFL is definitely Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday and Monday. But
Yep.
nonetheless, please subscribe to the Talking Ish with Dub, Chris and Mizzle page on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us. We apologize that Mizzle could not join us, but things happen, emergencies happen, life happens. But he will be back with us. But he did send us his picks. But nonetheless, folks. With that said, football is here and football is back, and we are very, very proud about that. But
Very.
nonetheless, he is Chris. I am Dub, and for Mizzle, even though he wasn't here, but he is with us in spirit, and he's probably watching. But as always, it's 12 public, and we're just three guys talking some ish. Hope you enjoyed episode 3. We will see you next week. In the meantime, enjoy week 1 of the National Football League. Enjoy the first full-fledged weekend of college football. Meantime, there you go.
Asta.